Nothing makes a college coach run faster than seeing a crazy parent.
We always talk about go for the 40, not for the 4.
There's always something that could be worse.
Effort, attitude, and awareness will beat talent every time. Let's find out why.
Welcome to the DSPN Softball Central Podcast, your comprehensive look into the world of fast-pitch softball.
In softball, every great team has that player you can't imagine not being in the lineup. The person who shows up in the clutch and stays the course when the pressure is on. Today's guest is a Matador legend and a standout infielder who defined consistency during her 4 years at CSUN. A first-team talent with a Mamba mentality. Jessica Alexander has gone from dominating the stat sheets to leading the next generation of athletes. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited.
So the first thing I wanted to ask you about was that 2020 season. You're a senior at Northridge. You are having an incredible year. The stats that I read, you're leading RBIs, your batting average was crazy, and then the world just stopped because of COVID. So what I wanted to ask you, my point is, how did you deal with like that unfinished business of what that season could have been?
Honestly, in the beginning, it didn't really bother me. I was more of just like, yeah, I'm ready to start my life. I'm ready to be an adult. I'm out of college. Like now I can move and go on. And then things kind of settled in. I had to get a job. Everything, life hit me. And I was like, man, I'm never going to be able to play softball again. Like this sucks. I found out my season was over through social media on Twitter. They said all spring sports are suspended indefinitely. And that was kind of like a heartbreaking moment. Once I kind of just sat there for like a week or so, it was like, wow, I'm done forever. And then from there is just history, just me being a coach now.
Just for clarification, CSUN is California State University Northridge, and which is a D1 school. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. We're in the Big West Conference.
This episode is sponsored by Ryan Contractors Incorporated. RCI is celebrating 14 years of being your go-to commercial construction general contractor. Visit their website, rciamerica.com, for more information.
So Jessica, when did you pick up a softball, and did you know that this was your game?
I actually picked up a baseball first because I have two older brothers and I'm the youngest of three. So I was just always forced to go to their practice. Mom was working, dad had practice, no babysitter, just go to the field basically. And I was one of those field kids just running around, and then that's all I knew. So I just played baseball, played softball. When I wasn't at softball practice, I was at baseball practice, and I had no other option. It was kind of my way out.
You were a student at Vista High School in Oceanside, California, where you are now the head softball coach. You were a multi-sport athlete at Vista. What other sports did you play, and how did that help your softball career?
I played basketball at Vista High. I was 4-year starter, and that just made my conditioning go to another level. Just constantly running back and forth, it made me a different type of athlete. If I wasn't at basketball practice, I was at softball practice, travel practice. I was just always kind of running around, being athletic. I was one of those kids that time of year too, or that time I grew up, it was just always being outside and no electronics.
So what else makes you tick? What makes you happy besides softball? It sounded like in 2020 nothing was going to make you happy besides softball. But what makes you tick other than the softball? How do you relax, get away from the game?
I'm a pretty outdoorsy person. I love snowboarding and wakeboarding. I'm a little fish at heart. I love to be in the ocean. I can swim for days. I used to surf. Yeah, I'm just a pretty outdoorsy person. Love going to the desert, riding dirt bikes. Basically doing a lot of boy and outrageous things.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. After your epic high school career, you ended up at Cal State University Northridge. Was that the only school you were looking at? And what was your recruiting process for you?
Northridge actually wasn't on my list. It kind of was a coincidence that I got committed to Northridge. Back then, there were no recruiting laws on how old you could be. So my recruiting process started in about 7th grade, 8th grade. And my first camp, I went to Oklahoma for about a week and a half. I got sent out there. And once I hit Norman, I was like, wow, this is really cool. but this is just too much. Like being from California, then going to the South, it was just something I didn't want to do. So then I started looking at like Oregon, Long Beach schools out here, and I still was like, I don't know, I'm not ready for all of this yet. I was 13 at the time, about to be 14. I was playing my head coach's daughter in a travel ball game, and I went 3 for 4 with 3 home runs. And she was just like, "Oh yeah, I need you on campus." And then I went a week later, balled out like that at the camp, and then it was kind of just the rest was history from there.
It's so cool to hear people's different journeys to the college they wind up going to. They may dream of going to a different college and then happenstance, and they end up at a college that they love. So I feel like there are no accidents.
But it's amazing to me that so many players have that one school that they think they're going to, and then all of a sudden things change gears and it works out for the best, just like you said. So when you're at CSUN, was there any one game that really stuck out in your head, that you felt like your play went to like another level?
Yeah, I would say what was it? I believe my sophomore year, we went to Hawaii, and they're in our conference, so we do a 3 series with them. I think it was the last game of the series. It was their senior night. I went 3 for 4 with a grand slam, a double, and like a triple or something. I was 1 hit away from a cycle, and my out was actually a miss sign on my part. I thought I got a butt sign. I didn't, and the umpire called me out of the box on my attempt to bunt. And so that game, it was just a crazy game. We were on ESPN, so that was like a life changing game. Just being in Hawaii and putting up those numbers.
And ruining their senior night. So that's
Yeah,
good on you.
yeah, yeah.
I love that.
How did you build chemistry with your teammates throughout the seasons?
I got lucky. I lived with the same people all 4 years of college. One was a catcher and 2 were pitchers. We were just a force to be reckoned with. We were all starters. Ours was the hangout house. We were always cooking for everybody. And so that kind of culture really was just bringing food and that together. So just cooking and always wanting to eat and hang out.
Rob, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to see a common theme here. When we were talking to Jamie Lawton, she talked about how that she used to cook at her house.
Yeah.
And her house, it seems like the
That's what-
team leaders always are the ones that are the best cooks.
That's why I couldn't be a team leader. I'm a terrible cook. So.
It's easier to make meals for everybody than just to make one meal for yourself.
Yeah, if everybody wants spaghetti, I'm your man. So
Right.
we're good there. Do you have any advice that you would give the younger players? Maybe something you experienced to try and stop them from making that mistake or something like that?
I would just say, looking back at it now, because I committed so early and was so set on like one school, is to not just be so set. Like you have so much time to figure out where you want to go and spend the next 4 years after high school. Don't be so sure on the first thing that jumps at you, or don't be set on, oh, I can only play D1. Like you got to venture out to all different levels of college and softball in the game, because you might want to go think, oh, I'm going to go D1, but then I don't want to put in 60 hours of softball and then do my homework.
Yeah, we talk about that quite a bit about how D1 is nice, and it's, to use the word sexy to go to a D1, but a lot of times that D2 is a much better fit for the person.
Or an NAIA or a D3. Just
Yeah.
depends.
Definitely. Just all depends on the kid and what they want to do later in life. If they want to be a nurse or something like that, then they kind of have to put softball on the back burner, because that obviously takes more time to deal with and things like that. It's just you got to make sacrifices on what you want to do.
Right. We always talk about go for the 40, not for the 4. What are you going to do in the next 40 years versus 4 years of college, and how that's going to play out for you? How did you balance academics, majoring in criminology and justice studies, with your academic commitments?
So at CSUN, you're required so many study hall hours, depending on the grade that you're in or your GPA. And if I didn't have those, I think I would have struggled a lot more than I did. But it's just so easy to get help especially at a D1 level. You have tutors, you have advisors, and all those type of things. So it was somewhat difficult, especially when you have a 3 series or something, and then you got to go to class the next morning at 6, 7 a.m. And that was a little difficult. But other than that, study hall pretty much got me through everything, and just wanting to be able to play. I knew I had to have a certain GPA, and if I didn't have that, I wasn't going to be able to get on the field.
Motivation. to
Mhm.
do good in school.
Yeah, for sure.
So we talked about a little bit at the beginning when you got out of CSUN, the season ended due to COVID, but what really made you decide to get into coaching? Was it just that you were done with working a regular job and you wanted to coach that bad? How did that
Mm, I
materialize?
knew I knew I always wanted to be a coach. My end goal is to be like a personal trainer, having my own facility. So I kind of always knew I wanted to do that. And then in college, every time I came home from breaks, I would coach at the local hitting facility here. I would just do lessons just to make money on the side. And so I knew I was good at it. And I was like, oh, let me just, it's softball. It shouldn't be that hard. And kind of fell in love with it once I started it.
What was it like to return to your alma mater as a coach instead of a player?
It's definitely different. Looks like a completely different campus alone. During COVID, they got all new facilities and all new classrooms. When I went there, it was all trailers and mobile homes, and now it's like brick buildings. Everything's all fancy, and so it's pretty cool to see for sure. And then sometimes I see the same teachers I had, and I'm like, "Wow, you're still here." But yeah, it's pretty cool to see.
What are some of the key values that you emphasize when developing high school players?
I try to emphasize you got to be in the moment and you never know when this game that you love can be taken away from you. Even from somebody that it just happened out of nowhere where I never knew I was going to play again. I try to tell these kids like take every moment you can with a grain of salt because one day it could be gone and you'll never know. And this is something you love, you got to treat it like that. In between the lines, let everything else go away and just deal with softball and be here for the now. It's 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, just be here and worry about softball.
I love it. In between the lines, for sure. That's great.
How has your experience as a D1 athlete shaped your coaching philosophy? And what is that philosophy?
My philosophy is I'm not going to coach something that I can't do. With these kids, they just got to push themselves. And if they can't, then they either got to move on or figure it out because somebody else is knocking on the door to take their spot.
So, how do you help these athletes balance their academics, their social life, competitive softball? Do you talk to them individually? Do you just kind of sit down and have just a round table and say, listen, these are the pitfalls you might face. This is what to watch out for. How do you help that athlete through the quote unquote crazy life of high school softball?
I just let them know, like, be here in the moment. Yeah, you guys have school and dances or whatever that's happening, but just be here and kind of um, enjoy it because they're signing up to just play. And high school versus travel, it's more of just fun and kind of figuring it out versus going on to the next level. And they got to realize that.
What has been one of your proudest coaching moments at the high school so far? Um, and then I would actually like to ask too, on the travel ball side as well.
My high school, I would say our first game of the season, we run ruled them. And that was pretty cool, just as my first career win and it being the first home game of the season and my first game as a head coach for high school. So that was pretty exciting. Last year was my first real season running my own team. I've always been an assistant everywhere, so that was pretty rewarding. And then travel ball, I would say just my kids. I've been lucky to been coaching the same kids since they were about 11, 12, and to have the almost same 10 kids. That's really rewarding seeing that my coaching is making them want to follow me over.
So, on top of your duties as a high school head coach, you also coach a travel ball team with the Crush organization. What drew you to coaching for Crush?
I just wanted to get on the bandwagon with Beaver. She was kind of putting in my ear ever since she started, and I just kind of trusted her. I spend a good amount of time with Beaver playing slow pitch, so I just trusted her. I came from a Mercado orgs, and I was ready to take that leap.
I've heard a little bit about this slow pitch team you guys had, and we've heard about Dolly Parton. Did you name a glove as well?
Yeah, a couple of my gloves. Almost every single one of my gloves have names.
What's the name of your latest glove?
So I have a matching glove with one of my best friends, and it's Cosmo and Wanda theme. So my glove's teal and her glove's pink.
How does coaching travel ball differ from coaching high school softball?
Travel ball's a little more aggressive, as in how often you work with the kids, their drive towards playing versus high school. It's kind of just a social experiment slash the travel ball kids are obviously still trying to get their reps in. But for the kids that don't play travel, it's just them playing the game that they love and being a part of sport at their high school and being able to say they're a student athlete.
How do you help your players get into the recruiting process in high school? It was a little different than, when you were getting recruited, but you're not that far removed from the recruitment business.
I just make sure they're on their applications, and if they need help with FAFSA, I kind of guide them to that. There's a lot of, especially at Vista High, there's a lot of options when it comes to figuring out colleges with advisors and counselors. So I just direct them to those places, and then give my knowledge of what I know.
And what advice do you give families navigating travel ball, showcases, and recruiting exposure?
Yeah, this is gonna sound a little harsh, but parents, please stay away. Let these kids, coaches do their thing. Because nothing makes a college coach run faster than seeing a crazy parent. It's unfortunate, but it's just something you got to deal with. Essentially, they're hiring you for their job, and you got to understand this is their job interview being on the field when a college coach is around, and sometimes you got to kind of bite the bullet for a little bit.
So how do you go about building confidence in these female athletes? There can be a lot of doubt that creeps in. How do you help them out with that?
I just constantly remind them that they're here for a reason. They're on my team for a reason. If I didn't believe in them, they wouldn't be on the team. They just got to trust themselves. They might be going through a slump or something or having a bad day, but it's a game of failure, and you just got to overcome that failure.
That absolutely true. Softball is definitely a game of failure, and it's how you deal with it that gets you through.
I would just say, like, it could be worse for mental toughness. Like, there's always something that could be worse. Even if you think it's your worst day or this is my worst at bat, there's always something worse, and you just got to overcome that.
What do college coaches really look for beyond the talent? They see the talent. I understand. They look for the girl not to have crazy parents. I get that part. Um, but what else beyond that talent?
um,
Jessica, I'm really not crazy.
I like to tell my kids this. It takes zero talent to communicate, have effort, and show that you want to be here. Just go out and sell it. Be the loudest kid on the field and make them turn their heads to want to see, oh, look at that kid. She's making this game exciting. Try and make it a show. Show your little swagger that you have.
Jessica, how would your players describe you as a coach?
Ooh, I could either be their biggest supporter or their biggest hard ass. There's kind of no in between. But with that being said, it's because I see how great they are, and I'm not gonna let them just come and mess around. Like, they've already shown me what they can do, so I'm gonna push that every single time.
Awesome.
Yeah, makes good sense. And you see a lot of the players that are better. They get beat up a lot because, like you said, the coach knows what they're capable of, and they don't want them slacking because they're only cheating themselves if they do. So
Right. And certain kids, it takes that little extra push that they need to whip themselves into shape.
we'll be right back with the seventh inning walk off. Welcome back, everybody. This is a seventh inning walk-off. Explain how it works and the rules. So there's a series of 7 questions. That's where the name comes from, seventh inning walk-off. Some are trivia that are worth points, so we call them runs. And some of the
Ooh.
questions have 2 parts, so you can get a run and you can get an RBI. And then some are just the opinion of Jessica or Mamba. All right, so you ready to start?
Yes, sir.
In 2020, as a senior at CSUN, you were leading the Big West Conference in RBIs. How many RBIs did you have?
I think the number's pretty up there. Maybe like 21 something.
You had 25, and it was in 24 games. So that's pretty awesome. So you didn't get the run there, but you could get the runner home from third. She's only 60 feet away with this sacrifice bunt. What was your batting average
Ooh, like
in 2020?
461.
Sorry. It was 390.
390.
I like the confidence though. 61. That's awesome.
All right. What year was the Big West Conference established?
1995.
No, 1969.
Ooh, way before my time.
Unfortunately, not really way before my time. So, what is the one thing parents should stop worrying about as far as their daughter playing softball? This is your opinion, by the way.
They can stop worrying about if they're having fun or not.
What is the only SEC college not to have a softball team?
No. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know who's in the SEC anymore.
Well,
It's
I'm
all
gonna give her a
changed.
hint. Okay. The Commodores?
Commodores. South Carolina? No, they have a softball team. Oh, Vanderbilt doesn't. They have a baseball team, but no softball.
Right. Their reasoning is that they don't have enough room to build a stadium because they're landlocked and blah, blah, blah. When I found that out, I was shocked, actually. I was like, what do you mean they don't have a softball?
That's just like USC. They don't have a softball team either.
USC doesn't? I didn't know
They
that.
do not.
Hmm.
No.
That's terrible.
Boo.
What year did CSUN make the move from D2 to D1?
99.
Pretty close. 1990. So you're right, the right decade. I want to give you that run because I think you made a great hook slide right there. So you got it.
Okay, this is another opinion one. What is your favorite drill to run at practice?
Ooh, I love me some bucket drills, whether it's either slow rollers or me hitting them. Reps.
Okay, this is a tough one. The famous spaghetti letters at CSUN, at Cal State Northridge, was designed by what artist?
Da Vinci.
You know what? I like that answer. And you're going to get a run. It was John Banks. He was an art student in 1975, but you're getting the run. So you got 2 runs now. I knew that was going to be a tough one. It's hard to come up with a lot of different softball trivia questions that aren't. So how far are the bases apart? You know, how far is the pitching mound? So I got to dig deep. And anyways,
if you could give every young player one piece of advice, what would that be?
Live every practice like it's going to be your last. Go as hard as you can for that hour and a half or 2 hours that you have.
That's gonna get written in stone at my house. I love that. That was great. So, Coach, thank you again for being here. It's been a blast.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Love talking to you. What I hear you saying about girls in softball is they need to live in the moment, especially between the chalk lines. Just be there, full force, and you can always, deal with the other stuff later. But while you're between the chalk lines, enjoy it and have some fun. Is that pretty much correct?
Yes, exactly. Go as hard as you can.
I like it.
I love it. And Jessica, do you currently offer any type of lessons or batting lessons, or tell us about that and how someone that might be interested in taking lessons would contact you?
I do hitting, conditioning, defense, a little bit of catching, a little bit of pitching, but I do full-time lessons after work. Usually start around 4 p.m. and then go till sunset, or I have lights, I'll go till about 7 p.m. You can either DM me on Instagram, Jessica Mamba Alexander, or reach out to me anyway. Just look at my name and you'll be able to find me.
Well, once again, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see you out and about on the fields, and it's always great to talk with you.
Appreciate you guys for having me on here. This was great.
Remember, everyone, you can find us on www.dspn.online. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, on Instagram at DSPN Plus. Please follow, like, subscribe, all the social media things that they like you to do on there. If you're a fan of the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We offer a $5 single tier with no frills. It's just helping support the show. Every cent goes into making the next episode better. You can find more details at patreon.com/Softball Central. You can find this episode and all our episodes at dspn.online. and wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks again to Ryan Contractors for the support and sponsorship of this podcast.
I'm Rob D.
I'm Samarra. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the DSPN Softball Central Podcast.
Until next time, put that ball in play. You never know what's going to happen. Ciao.